Hi, guys, and welcome to another 5 at 5, the show where we try to bring you our top 5 lists of things that we think you should be watching, not watching, that you should be listening to, or not. This is that pop culture show. And today I'm very excited to have a guest with us. He's going to share his top 5 list with us, and that's Shawn from Cheapseat Reviews. Welcome to the show, Shawn.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before we get into your list and we see how cool your list is, because by the way, I know what his topic list is, and I know that you guys don't, but I'm very excited about it, and you guys will be too. I think this is going to be a super cool discussion. But before we get into all the awesomeness that's about to come, tell everybody where they can find Cheap Seat Reviews and what your show's about.
Yeah, we're Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. We've been podcasting for about a little over 9 years now, and we review streaming movies, and we've been doing it, like I said, for a long time. We just recorded episode 430 something last night. So,
wow,
yeah, go check it out. Cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com, or you can go to our Linktree /CheapSeatReviews. That's the best place where you can find us, and we're on all the places that you find podcasts. So go check us out there, and YouTube now. We're actually on YouTube, and YouTube's doing really well for us. So go check us out there.
Okay, very cool. All right, guys. So Shawn is going to share with us his top 5 list, and this is why I'm so excited, because it's the top 5 non-comic book villains of film history. I'm excited. Let's get into it. Shawn, give us your number 5.
Sure. So, I'm a nerd. I'm a film nerd. I'm also a sci-fi nerd. So you'll see that some of my answers will lean more towards sci-fi than not. But my number 5. And this is actually, I feel like a bold pick to pick him at 5 and not higher, but that's going to be Hans Gruber from Die Hard.
Nice.
He's such a great bad guy. Alan Rickman just absolutely kills that performance.
Rickman's perfect as a bad guy.
Oh, he's fantastic. I mean, you could have said the sheriff from the Prince of Thieves movie, or
cut your heart out with a spoon.
Yeah. His delivery is great. Everything about it's awesome. Hans Gruber coming in at number 5.
That's a great choice. Can't argue it. Very well done. All right. What's number 4?
Number 4 is Bruce Willis in The Jackal. This is a movie that people probably don't know all that well. This is one of the few times where Bruce Willis is a bad guy. Richard Gere is the hero, who plays a character named Declan, and we like to pretend that's not where we got the name for my son. But he plays the Jackal. The Jackal is a character throughout the history of film and books as this legendary assassin. And in the movie, the movie is almost told for you to root for him to succeed, even though he is there to assassinate an innocent person, a very powerful innocent person, and Richard Gere is there to stop him. So, but Bruce Willis's character is great, and it's yeah. So go watch The Jackal, Bruce Willis. It's like a 94, 95 movie kind of a thing.
Yeah, I remember that movie. It's been ages since I've seen it, but I do remember that movie. And you're right, you do oddly kind of want to cheer for Bruce Willis.
Yeah, so it's a little weird.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, another good choice. All right, that was number 4. Shawn, give us your number 3.
Coming in at number 3. Now, I'm a Trek fan, and it almost, like, wait a minute, this is his number 3. What could possibly be 2 and 1? But number 3 is going to be Khan Noonien Singh from The Wrath of Khan.
Nice.
Such a menacing villain. One of the few times where the villain and the hero are never in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
They never share a space together. Khan is cunning and clever and evil and crafty, and to his dying breath is trying to kill Kirk with the detonation of the Genesis device. So Khan comes in at number 3 for me, just because he's kind of like the ultimate, bad guy. He's just great.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The funny thing for me is that, and one of the reasons why I love this pick is that I've only recently gone into Star Trek. Now, I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life, and I've always kind of just avoided Star Trek, but I've worked my way through the TOS, and I'm now into TNG. But even before that, the only thing from Star Trek that I really liked was this movie.
Sure.
Because I thought it was so perfectly done. And even though I have a very, it's not even a love-hate relationship. It's mostly, I really just don't like him with relationship with Captain Kirk. I actually didn't mind him so much in this movie. And I thought the way that those two, even though you're right, they're never really in the same scene together unless one's on the monitor and one's standing there or whatever. But just the way that they play off of each other, and and there's so many classic lines from that movie that are so quotable and repeatable, and but yeah, and great. It's a meme factory. That movie's just a meme factory. There's so many cool things. So I think that's a wonderful choice at number 3. Now you have me really excited, because if Khan's number 3, I'm very curious as to who your number 2 is. So who's your number 2?
Yeah, and I'm a huge Trekkie, so the fact that I didn't put a Trek character higher is going to say something. But I just feel like these two, as being bad guys, are just that much better at being bad guys. My number 2 comes from my favorite film of all time. This always gives people pause when I tell them that this is my favorite film, but this is my favorite film of all time, and that is Serenity. And the character is the agent from Serenity.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have a name.
He does not.
The operative, I think, is a better word for it. He's
the
operative. Played by Chitwell Ejiofor, which I always pronounce his name incorrectly.
I was going to let you pronounce it, so yeah, but I know who you're talking.
Yeah, he plays Mordo in the Doctor Strange movies.
Yeah, and fantastic actor. He does a really good job in this movie.
He's an amazing actor. It's the first time I'd ever seen him on anything was in this movie. He plays such a menacing, will kill you and your family and everyone that you know if it's what it means to get the job done. What makes him dangerous is that he is a believer in that killing the River, the character of the movie, is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes him dangerous. And also he's really good at kung fu and will kill you with a sword, which is weird.
Yeah, he's totally in Serenity. He is completely and 100% bought in.
Yeah.
To what what he needs to do and what he needs to do to you if you get in your way. So yeah, that's a really good pick. And I never would have thought of counting him as a bad guy and a villain in a movie. I've just always seen him, for the few times that I've seen the movie, I've always just thought of him as a guy just there to do his job. But you're right, he is the villain of the movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, in a movie that technically has 3 villains, right? But you only see 2 of them, right? The Reavers are a villain, and then the agent is a villain, and then the third would be just the Alliance in general.
Yeah,
but we don't see them. We don't have a face for them. Just we have the operative, and then the army that he brings. So, but yeah, he, because he's a cop doing his job, right? He's just a cop. Right? Think of it like that. He's a cop. He's an FBI agent. He's a CIA agent. Whatever you want to do. Just what makes him bad is that he's willing to kill doctors and unarmed men and shepherds and whoever else he needs to kill. I mean, he stabbed poor David. What's his name? Who got stabbed with a sword. I mean, he's just he's a bad guy. So that's what makes him great. Serenity is better for him being in it. The actor.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. So, okay. So you've had an amazing list so far. Honestly, I've loved this list and I respect every single one of these picks. But the thing is now, Shawn, is you have set the bar pretty high and I'm excited to see who number 1 is. Who is your number 1 non-comic book villain in film history?
If you were to take any kind of guess, who would you guess? We have, just for what it's worth, we've had two of the 4 so far have been sci-fi based,
right?
And the other 2 are just action films.
Now, because you said you were a Trekkie, and I see him as kind of a villain, and I don't, and I'm young into Trek, so I automatically thought of Q.
Okay.
So that was kind of where my mind went at first.
But he's not in any of the films.
See, I don't know that. So that's
okay. He's not in any of the films. Sorry.
Okay. But spoiler alert. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah, that was kind of where my mind went. I didn't know he wasn't in the film, so I guess I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah,
who?
and it's not a Star Trek. I said Khan was the only Trek guy that I
Oh,
used,
interesting. Okay,
and it's not Star Wars, so it's not Darth Vader.
okay,
He didn't make my top five, but that's also because he's the agent sort of does, but not really. He's because he's redeemed at the end, Vader,
right.
and all of these guys die bad guys. So my
Yeah.
number one from probably one of my top three movies of the 90s, maybe top five movies of the 90s. That is John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg from The Fifth Element.
Oh, dude, good pick.
What a bad guy. Again, he's maniacal, he's evil, he's twisted. Now, he's also doing the bidding of a higher power, but I love that movie so much, unabashedly, just love it. I adore it. I love the way it's edited. I love the way it's shot. I love the way
Oh
that
yeah.
it's framed. I love that we have not once, but twice in the movie where we have two competing people having a conversation with other people and they're complimenting each other. We get the
Hmm.
full story by being on each other's side. Also, again, a villain that's never, not only is he not in the same room as the hero, which would be, I guess, Bruce Willis. He is in the same room with Lilo Dallas Multipass, but he's not in with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis isn't even aware of his existence.
Right.
Like they're not even aware of each other at all, which is funny to me. Uh,
No,
but
that's great. Yeah.
but Gary Oldman as Zorg, and that was my first experience with him. I had not seen Leon the Professional yet. I
Okay.
didn't see that until this year, within the last calendar year, I should say.
Okay.
So I didn't see that. So this was my first experience with him. And then I would go on to see him in Lost in Space and then Air Force One. And so it's just like, oh, he's
Gary Oldman is such a perfect chameleon.
always well. And it was also the perfect casting for him as Sirius Black in Harry Potter, because every time you saw him on screen, he was a bad guy. And
Right.
so when you cast him to be in a character who for 90% of that movie you think is the bad guy is what makes it brilliant, in my opinion. So yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There's my top five. Hans Gruber, the Jackal, Khan, the Operative, and Zorg.
That's a stellar top five. I have, sometimes when I hear top fives from people, this, that, you can pick it apart and you can go, well, I don't know about that one. This is a very solid top five, my man. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought about this for a good while. I took people off. I added people on. I had to. I took off because I said I had Vader on there. I took him off for Hans Gruber, and I also had I couldn't remember his name. The bad guy from RoboCop, the guy that played Red Foreman from.
Yeah. I can't think of his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was such a good bad guy in that movie too. But he was too cheeseball, in my opinion, to stand up against this list. So,
no, this is really good. Fantastic list, Shawn. Very well done. All right. Hey, remind everybody where they can find you real quick.
Oh yeah, again, we're at Cheapseat Reviews. You can just find us anywhere. Just do search for Cheapseat Reviews. Our website will pop up, and yeah, just go check us out. If you're looking for a really interesting topic, because we do a lot of fun movies and ridiculous movies and serious movies, like we do the whole whatever. But our review on RRR, that interesting film, I mean, I know on the surface that movie just looks ridiculous. It's a 3-hour epic. I highly recommend you watch it. It's got a song nominated at the Oscars this year. It's a really good movie, and we talk about it for about 2 hours. It's a long episode, but there's so much to dive into. It's a part of the world's history that I don't think a lot of people on this side of the ocean know, and it's worth watching that movie and listening to that episode. So go check it out.
Very cool. And we'll make sure that we put some notes down below in the show notes or in comments for people to be able to click on and go find you. So guys, go do that. Go give Cheapseat Reviews a review. And Want to see what I did there? Make sure to
Yeah.
review them, but also give them a follow. Shawn's a really cool dude, and we've been he and I have been talking for a little while on the Twitter sphere and things along those lines. Follow him on the socials. Follow him on your favorite podcast listening destination. And hey, as long as you're here and you're going to be following things, click the little like button that John, our producer, is going to put on the screen somewhere in there. Anyway, but yeah, click like and subscribe. That helps our show to continue to grow and convince guys like Shawn to come and talk with us. But until next time, guys, this has been 5 at 5. Goodbye.
See ya.